If you are a solo marketing person at your company, that can be a pretty lonely and challenging position at times. So, today we'll be talking about how to stay motivated, where to find resources, and other ways to help you further along your marketing education and handle some of the different demands that are flying at you as the solo marketer. Let's do this.
Welcome to Content Marketing Engineered, your source for building trust and generating demand with technical content. Here's your host, Wendy Covey.
Hi, and welcome to Content Marketing Engineered. On each episode, I'll break down an industry trend, challenge, or best practice in marketing to technical audiences. You'll meet colleagues and industry friends of mine who will stop by to tell you their stories. And my goal is that you leave each episode feeling inspired and ready to take action. Before we jump in, I'd like to give a quick shout out to TREW Marketing. TREW is a content marketing agency based in beautiful Austin, Texas, and serves companies focused in technical industries. For more information, visit trewmarketing.com. And now on with our podcast. Well, today I'm joined by Julia Fellows. She's an inbound marketing specialist with TREW Marketing. Hey, Julia.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm
I know
excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you too. I know you're coming from someplace a little cooler than Austin, Texas. Where are you right now?
I'm in Detroit and we had snow yesterday.
No way. Already snow.
Yeah, and it's not even Thanksgiving yet.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it'll be that kind of year down in Austin, but sometimes.
Probably not this year.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. Well, I'm super excited to talk to you today about your experience that you've had as a one-person marketing member of an engineering company. So just to provide some context for our conversation today, just describe your career journey and where you've worked and what you've done.
Yeah. So I received my bachelor's from Michigan State University in professional writing. And the way that the major was organized, they had a couple different tracks. And the track that I chose was actually editing and publishing. So I actually wanted to work on books. I wanted to be a book editor. And when I graduated from school, book editing was already on its decline a little bit, and especially with a lot of self-publishing. And so it was really hard for me to find a job. I actually ended up joining a engineering firm that my dad actually worked at. And at that firm, I did a lot of different jobs. I kind of, first I was like an assistant program manager, and then they had me working with the sales team, and then I started writing proposals for the sales team. But then after the company went through a merge and acquisition, there were two brands that we were kind of representing. And so after a little while of trying to figure out what that was going to look like, I was asked to help rebrand the company from two brands into one brand and kind of establish a whole new marketing plan and a marketing strategy to get us noticed.
Wow, they just threw you into it, huh? Just go figure it out,
Yeah.
Julia. You're smart. Was there any marketing people at the other company that you merged with?
No. So neither company had any sort of marketer. I occasionally, in my previous roles, I occasionally would help make brochures and data sheets, but no active marketing.
So you were definitely thrown into the deep end there. Did you have any executive sponsorship, or maybe the opposite, lots of different leaders that had different opinions on how this should all come together?
Well, we got a new CEO shortly before we jumped into marketing, and he had worked at a few different companies previously where marketing had a much bigger presence and was much more important.
Oh, nice.
So he had that background of, okay, this is important. It's worth spending time and money on,
So a good perspective. Yeah. I bet
Yeah.
that was very important for you.
Yes, definitely.
So when you think about all of your experiences during that time, what were some of the best parts about being a solo marketer?
I always enjoyed the freedom and the flexibility. I really, I had to work the same hours as everybody else, but I really got to decide how I spent my time. And that was really awesome. And a little bit more autonomy in the decision making process. Um, I liked that I got to be kind of the brand cheerleader. I just kind of fell into that role previously, but now I was like, okay, well, now I get paid to be the brand cheerleader.
Nice.
So that
Isn't
was
that
really
great?
cool.
That's
It
so
is.
nice when you can find an aspect of your job that you absolutely love and say, wow, someone's paying me to do this. I mean,
Yeah, it's awesome.
yeah, that's my first job. I was an events coordinator, but the way my young brain interpreted that was, wait, they're going to pay me to plan parties for the company? Like, okay, there's this other
What?
trade show stuff, but basically parties.
It's
Oh,
perfect.
right, right. Well, I can see that the autonomy is nice, but also very challenging when you're early in your career and you're not sure what all you're supposed to be doing. And it can be
Yes.
kind of daunting as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and the sheer volume of tasks that you have to tackle as a solo marketer is, you don't have the option to delegate it to other people really.
Mhm.
It's up to you to finish it, and you might get help here and there, but ultimately you're the one who's accountable. And it was also a challenge that when I had questions, there was nobody within the company that I could ask, so I had to find my own answers, and that was challenging sometimes.
I bet. Did the company culture have tolerance for failure, meaning kind of that fail forward, try things and see what works?
You know, I think um, I think going into this rebranding, we knew that we weren't going to get everything right the first time, and so
Mhm.
that helped a little bit. But I will say I had been there for a number of years in a number of different roles, so I think that kind of had built me a little bit of a security bubble that helped me to people knew that, okay, if I can accomplish these things, I can probably accomplish this too.
Yeah, a lot of trust. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
you prove, of course, you were a proven entity, a lot of trust. And so
Yes.
I just love that, oh, sure, I'll tackle this. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
this. I'll
no
figure it out.
problem.
So how did you figure it out? So when it came to things then you didn't exactly know what you were doing,
hmm
were there some resources you turned to, or how'd you do
Well, I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I will say I
it?
still watch a lot of YouTube videos.
Okay. Is that your
So,
go-to? Do you go straight to YouTube versus Google when you
well,
trying to solve
I'll
something?
Google something and I'll look at the video results.
Ah,
So that's a good place to look. If you have access to any sort of marketing consulting, like an agency, like True, that's always super helpful because they have experience, and a lot of times you'll just have one question, and they can answer one question pretty easily.
mhm.
In your relationship. I think taking any sort of ongoing learning courses are super useful. HubSpot Academy has a lot of different courses that are not just about the HubSpot tool, but they're also about how to approach inbound marketing, which have been super useful. And then, of course, there's Content Marketing Engineered Academy. I am kicking myself. I wish it was around when I was a solo marketer, because that would have been incredibly, incredibly valuable and useful.
Did you attend any conferences as well, or was it mainly looking at blog posts and videos, of course?
Yeah, lots of blog posts and
Mhm,
videos and ebooks and all of the gated
mhm.
content as
Yeah.
well.
You got on
Um,
everyone's mailing list.
yeah, exactly. I was on everyone's mailing list.
Mhm.
I have attended inbound before, and I thought that was incredibly useful. It kind of gives you an opportunity to see the mind hive and to talk to other marketers and see how they're handling things. And just it's a good opportunity to network, but it's also a good opportunity to just learn new things.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So
now you're on the other side of things, and now you're at an agency
yes,
where you're
yes.
part of a team. And so, of course, at TREW Marketing, we have people that have different expertise areas
Hmm.
that you can tap into. So you're not having to,
Right.
wear as many hats. How has that been? How has it been, better or worse? Or gosh, I hope it's been good. So, just maybe contrast those two experiences for me.
Yeah, I guess as a solo marketer, you have to wear all the hats. I'm trying to remember which Dr. Seuss book. There's one of the Dr. Seuss books where they're wearing like 10 different hats. And that's what it feels like to be a solo marketer.
Yeah.
At a marketing agency, you have different people with different expertise, but from one client project to a next, that expertise might vary. So,
Mhm.
on one client project, I have more of a writer role. On another client project, I might have more of a strategy role, or even, sometimes a designer role. So I still get to wear hats, but it kind of varies from client to client rather than wearing all the hats for one big project.
Makes sense.
So,
And there was this time frame in between where you were a solo marketer working with TREW Marketing, so working with an agency,
yeah.
and how did, just maybe describe what that engagement was like, and how we worked together.
Yeah, so working with TREW as a solo marketer was very helpful for me because TREW became that person that I could turn to when I had questions,
Mhm.
because while I was a solo marketer, before I had TREW as a resource, it was only YouTube videos that I could look at. But once I had developed that relationship and I was working with TREW, they helped me to, as a solo marketer, you kind of have all these ideas and you don't know where to start and how to tackle it. And TREW kind of helped me narrow that down and be a lot more strategic about my marketing
Mhm.
and, really, really building our marketing from the ground up. We started with brand positioning and messaging to really understand, okay, who are we and how do we differ from our competitors? Why should you buy from us instead of from our competitors? And taking that messaging and using it throughout all of our marketing collateral and all of our marketing activities to really reinforce who we are, so that when people hear our name, they kind of have that feeling about who we are and how to trust us.
Yeah. And that I'm glad you brought up that specific type of project, because that's a definite skill set to,
Yes.
be able to extract that level of information from,
Yes.
customers and from the company itself, and weigh
Hmm.
that against competitors. It definitely takes a certain skill, not one that I have personally, but I'm very,
Yeah.
in awe of those that do.
Yeah.
It's a neat service.
Yeah.
Well, if you, I'm obviously, we have some solo marketers that are listening to us right now. And,
Hmm.
as you know, I do a lot of our business development for TREW Marketing. And so I'm
Yeah.
often on the phone with these solo marketers, and I hear a lot of frustration where that person, understands the content marketing and inbound marketing and how to get it done,
Hmm.
but they can't get buy-in from leadership. And so they're banging their heads against the wall. They're not working in a very strategic way.
Hmm.
Everything's kind of a list of activities on a spreadsheet. And so, what advice do you have for that solo marketer that's in that frustrating situation of trying to convince leadership to, invest in inbound marketing
Hmm.
and, approach things differently? So, how can they have, I guess, a bigger voice within the organization?
Yeah, I think one way is to back it up with research. I know TREW is not the only one, but I know that TREW does an annual study of how engineers in particular consume marketing and how they do their research to make their buying decisions. And there's most of their buyer's journey is happens online, before they even talk to a salesperson. Having that research to back you up is also really helpful. And then also just showing that you've done your own research, showing that do little test runs on different pieces of content and see, how is that impacting your business?
Yeah, so use the data to sway opinion. Yeah, engineers
Yes.
love those statistics and
Yes.
measurement.
Yes.
When you started, were you, so you mentioned HubSpot earlier. Were you
Mhm.
already on HubSpot when, or I guess obviously if you were the only marketing person, did you bring that in to the company?
Yeah, we brought HubSpot in. Our old website was on WordPress, and there are use cases for WordPress, but I personally find it to be a little bit clunky, a little
Mhm.
bit overwhelming. It's not as user friendly as other tools, and HubSpot was really appealing to us because we could use it as a CMS to manage our website and to house all of our website data, but we could also use the Marketing Hub to for all of our marketing automation tasks, things like landing pages and our social media and our blog, and just kind of seeing all of it in one spot and having those metrics that we could just pull from at any given time was incredibly valuable.
Yeah, before HubSpot, how would you measure progress? So you mentioned testing and all of that. Were you
Yeah.
able to do that through other tools, or what did that process look like?
We didn't.
Yeah, I wondered, because it
Yeah.
is difficult, right? When
Yeah.
you,
We did have a Google Analytics account, but
okay.
unless you know how to use Google Analytics, it
Hmm.
you know there's so much valuable information in Google Analytics. But if you don't take the time to learn how to use that information, it's kind of just a number that you give every month.
Yeah, I gotcha. And then you probably had like a MailChimp or something like that that had a little bit of metrics over here, and
Oh, we didn't even have that. We
not
had
even that. I see.
our marketing emails were, an email that our sales directors would send out to their
Oh,
favorite
no,
clients.
no. Well, you know what? Everybody has to start somewhere. It's okay. When we first started True Marketing, there were years where we had, our CRM was Excel. And
Yeah,
that's just where companies start and then learn from there how much more
yeah,
it is to bring in some of these tools. So
yes, yes. But it's
um,
not impossible. You can do it.
there you go. Well, any parting advice for this solo marketer?
I guess, don't give up. Find your allies within the company, and outside the company. I definitely want to stress finding your allies within the company. Find other people who can help champion marketing for you. Develop good relationships with your subject matter experts so that working together to build content, is not a chore, but becomes, a pleasant experience and something that everyone is proud of.
Great advice. Well, thank you
So,
so much for sharing your experiences with us today, Julia.
yes, thank you so much for having me.
Visit truemarketing.com/podcast for notes and resource links from today's episode. While you're there, learn other ways to grow your business with content marketing, from educational resources such as self-paced training to hands-on services by the expert True Marketing team. You can also order my book, also named Content Marketing Engineer. Thanks and have a great day.